This is going to be a bit of a challenge. I've done it before in watercolour, probably in acrylic. It's a bit of the River Wandle. We go down here with the old men riding badly on bikes every Tuesday morning, come rain or shine. Well, no, not in the rain, but cold certainly. And yesterday was a lovely day. I took this a couple of years ago probably, and I used the tablet. That's probably why it's a little bit bleached out, and I probably hadn't cleaned the lens on it. But anyway, we'll have a go at abstracting it. There's some gorgeous colours in it, I have to say, so I'm going to put that to one side and just use that as a guide. I might try just to alter the light on the screen. Let's go right, very bright. Okay, that's a bit better. Right, I'll bring you up to the Fabriano. This is on a watercolour. You can just about see the outline of it underneath. Don't throw your watercolours away when you've made a mess of them. This was a demonstration. It was quite a good demo, but it doesn't really stand up as one I really want to sell. So I just paint over it with some of this Wilkinson's cheap own brand acrylic. Wilkinson's is a family-owned store in the UK. They've got their large stores. Oh, sorry, they're very large stores, and they sell sort of hardware, a range of cosmetics, that sort of thing. It's a general store, very big, very good. And if you're lucky enough to live in the UK near a Wetherspoon, that's a pub, a Wilkinson. Have a look at their range of acrylics. They don't do yellow ochre and one or two other colours you might want, like cobalt. And the white is not very good. It hasn't got any covering power whatsoever. But the rest of the colours are pretty good. And for £1.50 at the moment for a 200ml tube of paint is pretty good. That's the lemon yellow. Use a lot of that. I would prefer cadmium medium, but they don't do that. You have to pay for that. The white I use is Winsor & Newton at the moment, because it comes in a large pot. I'll show you what it is. Galleria. The rest of the colours I'll explain as I go along. That's the one I buy. It's artist quality, and that is a ½ litre pot, which is very, very economic. I buy it all online, well, all the good colours online, if I can. Right, okay. I hope the light's okay. We're under a north-facing skylight with my roof. I have a loft conversion here. A nice room, nice size. And there are two on my left. There are two south-facing 4-foot square windows. One, I've got the blind pulled down because the sun keeps shining through it. Nothing wrong with that. But when you're painting, you can't see what you're doing. And I've got the last of my cup of mate tea. And there we go. So I'm using the inch varnish brushes, Pro Art. I bought these originally at a fairly local art shop in Sutton. The others I bought, there some new ones here ready to go. I bought at the Art in Action fair near Oxford earlier last year in July. So. And I got a larger brush there somewhere. This is an 1.5 inch, very good brush. They're made for varnishing, but make a lovely brush for acrylics. I prefer using these than round brushes, so I've got my three. Keep them clean, and away we go. We'll put in a sky. I'm going to use a bit of water, a bit of ultramarine, and a bit of water and a bit of plenty of water, I think. The water will dry quickly, and we can build up a layer of impasto on this as we go. We build up. We don't start with any idea of making a finished painting. That will just sort of hopefully will appear as we progress. And as we come a bit further into the painting. We'll add a bit of red, I think, just to warm up. And I want quite a low horizon. I don't want to do too much landscape in this. I want a bit more of that, and a bit of yellow ochre, a bit of orange maybe. Okay, that'll do. And the river we'll put in as well where we're at it. We'll just show where it's going to go. And that will come sort of in here. And it's lost in shadow on one side. Okay, that'll do it for that. Now we'll put in, just putting in the elements where they go, like the trees. There's a bank of trees coming up here. But I wanted to make something of that background. Now this was obviously winter. It was quite a frosty day, and that's quite hard to show in watercolour. Well, I find it hard. But you can always add a bit of gouache over the top, with a bit of bluish tint to show the frost. Right, we'll put in some background. There's still plenty of colour in the trees, but I'm going to let's use a bit of ochre, and we'll use a bit of autumny colour in there as well. Now I think I might change that to a sort of a blue, a cobalt mixed with a bit of red, to show a bit of distance. So we're creating an abstract. We're not creating a photographic copy here. So what did I say? Cobalt. Let's use some cobalt and some red. Let's change that to that. Bit of crimson in there. I'm going to put a much lighter horizon behind that, or this where the sky meets the land, and we can put in a bit of warmer colour in there just to. I want to try and make this sort of foggy or misty. Right, now let's put in some background there. Water. Right, let's put in a bit of lighter colour in there now. A bit of green, so we mix a bit of viridian. Load of we went by this yesterday. There's loads and loads of dead nettles, bramble, all sorts of stuff in here. But we want the light to sort of really catch. We want some nice shadow in that right hand side, so we put that in. I'm just going to squeeze out some crimson red to mix with the viridian. It makes a lovely rich dark. Also mixed with white it makes a lovely range of colours. So let's just squeeze it out. Quick swig of your tea, finish off my tea. Right, Crimson, Viridian. A lot of Viridian. Viridian is not as strong as the crimson. Quite a weak colour, but that's what we want. I'll bring that down here. I know with that we can superimpose nice lights and things. This is just a foil for the lights. It's all about counter change now. Those shadows come right down there. Right down. I repeat, don't aim for finished painting to start with. Don't put it all in. Just work it up and solve the problem as you go. Okay, and we can put lights in there. I can see sort of reflections coming through there. So all this is river, and the bank comes across here, but it's all in dark. It's because the camera lies, in other words. So we can go back over that as long as you remember that this isn't a bank here. The bank is coming across here, but this is all reflected from the shadow above. The sun was, I think, behind this tree, so you can see the lights coming through here. So we'll just put in some lights on this bank. Use that same sort of crimson, and I say crimson, this is as near as I could get to alizarin crimson cheap. And as you can see, there's nothing wrong with these colours. My friend Charles Wolfe on his artistry channel, YouTube, he's just done a watercolour and recommending you use artist quality. Well, that's okay if you can afford it. But the point when I do watercolours, as in acrylic, many of you are beginners. Well, looking at me sometimes you think I'm probably a beginner, but if you're using watercolour from artist quality watercolour from a tube, because it's expensive, you tend to use a little of it because it's expensive. And the whole point of using student quality paints is because they're cheap, you use a lot of it. That's the whole point of Ron Ransom big brush watercolour, is that you're not stingy with it. Let's get these. But if you can afford it, of course, artist quality is always going to be better. It's got a saturation that you just can't get with the student quality. But if you're a beginner, you'll be frightened to use it. So I'm not making a point, it's just that. Well, I am really. Alright, okay, so let's go back to the sky now. So if you're a beginner you're putting your toe in the water, you don't want to spend many pounds, dollars, shekels on buying a lot of paints that you might give up and it's all gone for nothing. But with the student quality, I'm talking watercolour here, these paints are student quality, but they're good. These are the Cotsman watercolours, the student ones, and they're more than adequate to learn on. And in fact, I always use them anyway. And I've sold a lot of paintings over the years, and nobody's phoned up to say they've come to grief. They're all reasonably permanent anyway. Right, just lighten up this sky. If I put a bit of cobalt in that, I'm an ultramarine man myself, but I want a bit of blue. I've got a tube of cerulean, but I don't use it very much. I forget I've got it. So if your paint's not dry, it will lift it off from underneath. So watch out for that. I will just put in. Just remember we've got a bit of light coming through there. That's pretty. Just coming through the murk. Right, let's just get a bit darker blue. You see, when you're looking down at your feet, you're looking. Your angle is almost vertical above, where you've got the depth of the sky. This here doesn't reflect that unless you're laying down on the water. So get your angle. That will be more showing that. That's why you do the foreground darker colour. So that's worth remembering. So let's just get a nice graduated blue there. And this river is quite slow flowing here, so there won't be many. Well, it would be very reflective. There wouldn't be too many ripples on it. Let's just lighten that a bit. And then where you do get ripples, you will get some sort of representation of what's behind. Okay, that'll do. Clean the brush and go back into the foreground and put in some more. Bit of ochre as well. Load of, oh, it's more ochre than red. Let's get some darker stuff in there. So I just mixed a little bit of red in with this. Not trying to do any portraits of things, reeds and stuff. I'm just showing the colour and trying to get some good colours in there, some good abstracty colours. Now I love Viridian. Viridian is a great colour, great mixer. And got darks in the bank there. And as we come into the depth of this, we can just put in some nondescript colour, but with an occasional bit of light shining through. I will put a tree up here in a minute. Just mixing up a bit of a grey with the alizarin and the crimson. Sort of representing the reflected leaves. This would be a lighter colour of this would be for the frost, but we're going to do that when it's dry. So let's just let's go back into that background, I think, now. So I want a mauvey colour. I'm going to put a tree, so there are some trees in front of that which I shall indicate, but this is just my background. It's coming up there. Okay, now we want some lovely darks in the left hand bank, and I'm using the alizarin again with the Viridian. Now we'll come down here. I'm just putting in the darks where I see them, so I can counter change against that. And get in the shape of the bank coming up here. Okay, I don't really like that colour there, but I want to put in that Viridian, ultramarine with the Viridian. Just get this distance in here. You create the distance, even though there isn't a lot of distance in this painting. I am making an abstract of it. I'm not trying to do a copy, a photographic copy. Right, now we're going to head for some brighter sort of colours in here. Get some yellow in that, bit of red or a bit of orange. Some reds in there. Reds, great complement to the greens. Mauves are good complement to yellows. They're complementary colours. So if you want the greens to look green or reds to look red, put them by green. So I can change that. So I had a bit of crimson on that. Well, that's a bit too bright there for the moment. I hope I can do this and it'll come to a finish in one go. I don't mind if they go up to 45 minutes, 50 minutes, but a bit much longer than that. We can do it as 2 parts. I put this indistinct there. But I want some of this to show through when I glaze over it or drag over it with the Frosty colours. Right, okay, get in there. Nice warm colours, and put some stuff in there. Just reflect that down there. Nice bright yellow here. Right, okay, so let's get some. I want to put some red in there because it in the shadow area, I think. Concentrating on shadows in here, but you don't want shadows made out of black. They're subtle greys and hopefully showing what's on top of them, and they become brighter as according to the depth of the shadows. So that's right, let's do something on the sky. So that's more or less dry. I want to put in some bit of a glaze of reddy, ochre-y. Just drag over that, just lighten it up a little bit with some slightly pinky. How's that look? Right, that's nice and misty. We'll just go back with a bit of that okay, all very subtle here. Now that is probably just a little bit wet. I'll do a bit of work on the water now, I think, before we start putting the tree in over here. So the dark shadow in here in the water. Now I know the river goes round there, even though the picture doesn't show it, photo doesn't show it. Right. What's that? Right, let's go in with a bit of light. Colour here. Get that light on the horizon, just sort of coming in through here. Dries very quickly, acrylic, as you know that. Try to keep everything going soft. Right, okay. Let's clean the brush. I want to put in some light leaves that are left on the trees here in this bit here. It's quite a rich yellow. Let's add a bit of burnt sienna to it and see. Oh, yeah, burnt sienna. Bit of white. Then I can put the shadows, the frost over in a bluey white or a mauvey white. So it's just all just indistinct here, with just a touch of detail, bit of ochre. It's just a sort of a wilderness. You wouldn't think you were on the outskirts, well, in the suburban London, South London, Wandle Valley area. It's just a piece of countryside. It's so gorgeous when you see it. You think, you know, it's on our doorstep. And a lot of people walk along here, cycle, because it's so gorgeous. Well, you can't see the factories. This river in the 19th century, I've said many times before, was heavily involved in the Industrial Revolution. It's only a small river, but my word, there was some work going on. And when we go and have our cup of tea, me and my mates, we're right opposite the last working mill on the Wandle. It's in a pottery now, but it was all part of the William Morris fabric design, wallpaper designs, and they used power from the water mill in the 19th century, but it went on for many years, and I believe that was all part of the arts and crafts movement, very important. I haven't got a photograph of it, but if you Google the Wandle Trust, Wandle, that's W-A-N-D-L-E, Wandle Valley, there's a lot of information on this river, a lot of photographs, and you'll see that my paintings don't bear any resemblance to what's actually there. I idealise it, why not? I'm just mixing up a foggy grey, a frosty colour going over all of this. It's just laying. It was about 10:30 when we get to this spot. We're standing on a bridge, a wooden bridge. It was very murky yesterday because we'd had a lot of rain, so a lot of mud in the river. So let's get that in there. More of a darker bluey grey, so I'll put a bit of blue with that alizarin, viridian. I can always go back over this and put some lights back, but this is all the frosty morning, lovely cycling, and we're all nice and warm in our cycle jacket. We don't do the lycra or anything like that. We're too old for that. We're not serious cyclists. It's just something we do. It's a bit of fellowship, really, a bit of fun. Okay, how's that? No frost on the right, but there will be some just going into there. Still knocking up the greys. Right, a bit more colour in that left bank now. Just these brushes are ideal for doing this. So white, ochre, bit of red, bit of yellow. And just like just catching that light here and there. It's got a bit messy there. Right, we'll leave that to stew for a little minute. That's just a bit too much. So I'm just going to go back with my grey, with my Viridian and my alizarin. Looking for darks. Always look for your darks, your lights and darks. Hunt them out. And a bit of cold colour in here. Right, let's do a bit of the tree now. I'm going to put some more light in that background. And then I'm going to try and put some silver birch trunks in just to indicate. This is where I will use a brush with an edge. Okay, so that'll do. Here we are. So, what colour shall we have for that? Well, we can have a bit of yellow ochre, a bit of green, a bit of dark. Well, I could use that alizarin and that'll do. No more, too green. It's coming out of that bank. There are other trees, lots of trees, but I'm not going to put them all in. I'm just going to put maybe one or two. Oops, got a bit mad there. I'll cover it up with something. Always turn your bad strokes into something to your advantage. Yeah, that's. I'll see if I can take that off. Okay. I'll have to repaint that background there, but that's all very easy to do. I don't really want to use a rigger, but I will, I'll have to, I think. Right, let's just get in some nice light bits and pieces. And a bit of, I was warm light. Put a bit of dark green in, I think. Using Viridian, bit of red. Right, rigger. See if we can get some. I'm only go using Viridian and the Crimson. You need plenty of water on your brush, otherwise you don't get any paint off. I'll find a way of showing some dry brush twigs at the end of these branches. Right, I'm going to put some dark greens in now. So green, red, there's Viridian. Bit of a melange of colours here. Look. You do get a lot of green in the landscape, of course. Just try and show some reflections in here. I'm guessing this, but it doesn't matter. Right, now a bit of twiggy colour, so let's use that there. Oh. It's a bit of a bodge this, but it shows up, it gives the impression that there are lots of branches, twigs on this winter tree. Not that I should have to tell you that's a winter tree. Okay, that'll do. We'll do some. I'll use a bit of ultramarine and a bit of burnt sienna to give sort of some light back in here. So putting some lights back on here. Yellow ochre and brush grey. Softening. Right, now I'm going to put a bit of darker grey shadow in there, just hinted at. Need more viridian, or alizarin, I meant to say, or crimson. Too dark that, so just lighten it. Right, now just a bit more whitey grey on here. Then I'd see if I could just show some little bits of white, very very light trunks just catching the light. These silver birches. Right, so white, bit of crimson, bit of viridian, alright, and a bit blue and some white. Okay. So that frosty feel comes all over there. Lost and found. So that looks frosty enough. That's probably just a bit too heavy there. So I'm going to put a bit of the greeny ochre stuff over that. Okay. Right, let's get the rig up and get a very light ochre colour and just see. Very hard to do this. Right, just want a little bit more on over that. Just get, well, we haven't got the right colour on that frost yet. Right, let's just try it. No, it's more blue than this room. Right, I want a bit more of that ochre, yellowy ochre-y. Just dragging gently over the high spots here. Put a bit of red in with that, I think. That really is catching the light, these twigs on these silver birches. Just trying to change that shape. Right, not much more I can do with that. I think so. I can put that in a mount and we'll have a look at it. I'll put it in the blue mount because it's a nice blue picture. It's a grey mount really. Not my best one for a while, I think. I wouldn't say this was easier in watercolour. Right, let's just get. I'm not going to show you the original because I can't see the point in that. Right, well, that doesn't look too bad. Right, thanks for watching. Any comments, leave them on YouTube. It does look better on the screen that I'm looking at than it does in real life, but then that's often the case, isn't it, with paintings. Right, okay, see you soon, bye bye.